Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's go ahead and get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning, with S&P futures down 0.03%, Dow futures up 0.01%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.33%. S&P futures remain relatively flat today, while the yield on benchmark 10-year Treasuries dipped to around 1.29% after touching the highest since February 2020. Signals show that the U.S. Treasuries are in for more wild gyrations after the 3-month implied volatility on 10-year swap rates jumped. Amid the dramatic rise in bond yields, investors are left wondering whether how high they can climb before spoiling the risk rally. That adds concerns that speculative froth may be setting up equities for a fall. Elsewhere in markets, oil fluctuated around $60 a barrel in New York amid a deepening energy crisis in the U.S. Over in Europe, Treasury yields are edging lower from their highest in a year. The stock 600 index slipped amid a mix of corporate results. Over in Asia, China remains shut down for a week-long holiday and will reopen Thursday. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, the S&Ps have been essentially flat to lower all morning long. Number of factors to keep in mind today: the retail sales report, the FOMC meeting minutes, the rising yields, of course, is an interesting topic that you need to keep an eye on. And that cold snap in Texas and the South is really creating some havoc, especially with oil prices, which you're seeing climbing today because of that. So that's something to keep aware of. And I hear that President Biden, later today is expected to meet with the union leaders, and they're probably going to be talking about, the infrastructure spending. The unions are all for it, and I think Biden is too. So we'll have to see if anything comes out of that. I see that the Hong Kong markets rallied really strong yesterday. They were up over 1%. Didn't carry over to Europe. Europe is essentially flat. I'm not seeing any movement there in Europe this morning. You're seeing the DAX down 0.5%, FTSE down 0.20%, and the CAC is lower as well. So that's not surprising. The S&Ps are trading a little off this morning, but I'm looking forward to a lot of good earnings reports that are scheduled to come out today as well.
Let's go ahead and move into our earnings to watch today. Bill, what type of earnings are we looking at?
Let's talk about what happened, the earnings that have just recently come out. Lazy Boy, ticker LZB, they missed earnings by 4 cents, but on higher revenue. Stocks trading down 5% this morning. Ring, RNG, they delivered a 5-cent beat this morning. That stock's trading off 2.6%. Shopify, SHOP, they delivered a 33-cent beat on higher revenue. Stock's up only a little. I still think it has more room to run higher. And Devon Energy, ticker DVN, they missed by 3 cents, and you're seeing the stock off by 11% this morning.
Do you have any insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Well, I see Baidu's coming out. They're scheduled to release later this afternoon. They're set for a 10% move when their stock releases. Stock's trading a little lower this morning. Cheesecake Factory, ticker CAKE, that's set for a 7.2% move when they release. Fastly, that's ticker FSLY, they're set for a 12% move when they release their earnings. Jack in the Box, ticker JACK, JACK, that's set for a 7% move. And Twillo, TWLO, that's set for an 8% move when they release earnings later today.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, what type of reports are we seeing today?
We got the PPI final demand, the retail sales. They just came out. They surged 5.3% in January versus a 1.2 estimate. So that was a real positive. Then later this morning, we have the Johnson Red Book figures coming out and numbers on industrial production, business inventories. At 10 o'clock, we have the housing market index. And at 2 o'clock, you have the FOMC meeting minutes. This is from the January meeting minutes. So that's going to be a key one that could really be a market catalyst today. Everybody seems in unison. They really believe that what the FOMC is doing on interest rates and the QA is very positive. They're all in favor of continuing the current plan. We also have a lot of Fed speak going on. At 9 a.m., Philadelphia's Fed Bank President Thomas Barkin is speaking. At 10 a.m., we got Boston Fed Bank President Eric Rosengreen. And at 6:05, Dallas Fed Bank President Robert Kaplan will be speaking.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting one off with one on Ford, ticker F. Ford plans moving to all electric in Europe by 2030. The first step in the transformation announced this morning will be to plow $1 billion into a German assembly plant that will start making an all-electric model in 2 years. By mid-2026, all passenger cars Ford sells will be plug-in hybrids or fully electric. Ford's share price is up 1.13% in pre-market. In other news, Humacyte is set to go public through a merger with Alpha Healthcare Acquisition. That's ticker AHAC. Alpha share price is up 13.77% in pre-market. Another merger, this one AI, will go public through a merger agreement with CF Finance Acquisition, that's ticker CFAC. The company's combined value is $2 billion. CFAC's share price is down 5.47% in pre-market. One on Tractor Supply Company, ticker TSCO. Tractor Supply Company has entered into an agreement to acquire Orscheln Farm and Home in cash for $297 million. Tractor Supply share price is up 0.41% in pre-market. The European Commission purchased an additional 150 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine from Moderna, ticker mRNA. Moderna's share price is down 0.29% in pre-market. And lastly for me, PepsiCo, ticker PEP, has chosen eFundamentals to power its e-commerce growth in Europe. So PepsiCo's share price is up 0.27% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, let's start off by, just kind of telling you out that I create my news alerts based on sectors and events. Just allows me to quickly ascertain the hot information that I need to know for the day and gives me the opportunity to really jump in these trades before they become priced in. News events that I see today on my FANG alerts: Epic Games files an antitrust suit against Apple, but they're doing this in the European Union, so that's kind of interesting. Facebook, I see that Facebook got fined $8.5 million by Italian regulators. There's concerns that the social media giant isn't providing enough information on the handling of the user data. And also Amazon. The New York Attorney General is suing Amazon, saying it inadequately protected employees from COVID-19 virus, for the last year. So that could be interesting to see what happens and plays out there. My Dow Jones 30 alert. This is the big one. Verizon and Chevron, ticker VZ and CVX. They're both moving higher today. And the reason why is because Warren Buffett took large stakes in both of these companies. I believe the Verizon stake was $8.5 billion. So this is a big move for both of these stocks. And, expect both of them to be trading higher throughout the day. Walmart, hey, they're releasing earnings tomorrow morning. You got to watch for a 4.5% move on that announcement. My auto alert, Honda, might not be known, but Honda is expected to announce a new CEO any day now. So keep an eye on shares of Honda this morning. And Ford, I got that same story about them building electric vehicles. They say that 100% of their electric passenger vehicle models to be at near zero emissions capability by the mid 2026. So that's a real step forward, and it's a positive for Ford. They're doing a lot of the right things. I have my guidance alert that I'm looking at, and came out on Johnson Controls this morning. That's ticker JCI. They're implementing a multi-year cost-cutting initiative that's aimed to improve operation efficiency, looking to save about $300 million by the end of 2023. The company also raised its 2021 adjusted EPS guidance to $2.50 to $2.60. The current guidance, the old previous guidance was $2.45 to $2.55, so it's a nickel increase. And Charles River Laboratories, that's ticker CRL. they see 2021 EPS of $9 to $9.25 versus the consensus estimate of $8.86. So it's a big positive for shares of Charles River this morning. My retail alert. One thing that, Camper Worldwide, that's ticker CWH, they announced the acquisition of 2 new locations in the Northeast. I think they're really trying to get into this area. Caught that Tractor Supply story about the acquisition for $297, $297 million. It's an all cash transaction. And I see that JP Morgan is boosting its estimates on Home Depot and Lowe's, and they're really street high estimates. And where they have a buy on Home Depot, they're not too positive on Lowe's. So I don't quite understand why they'd be boosting estimates on Lowe's as much. But that's what my alerts are showing me this morning, Shane.
Well, let's go ahead and move into our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm going to pick Ford, ticker F. So just like we talked about, they've got this $1 million going into a German assembly plant, specifically in Köln, that will start making electric models in 2 years. They've got a bit of a rally already going on. There's a $9 stock that's been rallying up to about $11, $12, and there's no reason it can't go as high as 14. Right now, it's neutral. It was up a bit earlier, but this is one I think we could see getting a bit of momentum. So that's my pick for today. What's yours looking like, Bill?
I'm looking at Jack in the Box, ticker JACK. It's trading up this morning. It's up, 0.83%. I don't like it at this level. If I can pick some up under 100, in the 99.50 range, then I'll do it. I do see it has the ability to trade 101 today, 101.50, 102 perhaps. I'm not planning on holding it into the earnings, but I do think that there's some opportunity in shares of Jack in the Box if it can pull back a little bit from these levels. So I'm not buying it at the open. I'm waiting for that, a lower price to occur on the tape before entering an order.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So Bill, looking at our newswire alerts and seeing all the headlines that are streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Smile Direct Club, that's ticker SDC, Sam, David, Charlie. They just announced that Walgreens is going to be a retail partner of theirs. NXP Semiconductors, that's ticker NXPI, Nancy, X-Ray, Paul, India. They're idling their manufacturing at 2 Austin facilities due to the cold weather snap down there.
One on eBay, ticker EBON. eBay's set to launch a Bitcoin mining business.
Wingstop reaffirmed its 3 to 5 year domestic same sales growth in the mid-single digits. That's ticker WING. Ticker HAPP, that's Happiness Biotech. It's an e-commerce subsidiary reported January sales above $5 million. And ticker Work, WORK. This is Slack Technologies. They just were bought out by Salesforce late last year. And they just received a second informational request from the Department of Justice. We'll see what that's about. That's going to be an interesting story.
One that was just a headline, General Electric, ticker GE. The General Electric CEO says he's unlikely to do a large M&A deal soon. And this was comments taken from the City Industrial Conference. U.S. Wells, ticker USWS, was granted a NASDAQ listing extension. So we've got an extension of time to demonstrate compliance. One on Thermo Fisher, ticker TMO. Thermo Fisher has acquired cell sorting technology assets from Propel Labs.
Ticker ADI, Analog Devices. They just declared a dividend of 69 cents. Northrop Grumman, NOC. Late last night, they declared a $1.45 dividend.
A little more detail on the Ford's commitment to selling only electric cars in Europe by 2030. The company announced earlier this month that they'll be investing $22 billion globally into electronification by 2025, and the facilities in Kern, and it was being announced again. So it keeps coming up. It's pretty recirculating in the news right now.
AMPG is doing a reverse stock split. That's Apple, Michael, Paul, Grace.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing.
Let me say that one more time. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
Not this morning. That's all I'm seeing this morning.
Same here. So that'll do it as far as what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind that you can receive these same breaking stories just like us simply by subscribing at newsware.com. It will definitely up your trading game. Check us out for a free trial today. So then moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from yesterday, did from Tuesday. I had Peridot Acquisition. That's ticker PDAC, which opened at $15.52. And however, that was high. So we did talk about being cautious, waiting until later in the morning. And if you did wait until around 10 a.m., you can get in around, it was about $14 you can get in at. The stock ultimately traded lower at around $13.80 at the close. However, if you did hold on till after the close, it's actually come back up. So now it's at $14.29, which if you got in around $14 at the 10 a.m. mark, it's actually not a bad gain. So it wasn't a bad play overall. It took a little bit of patience for us to see anything from it, but not too bad. How'd yours end up doing, Bill?
Well, I did Exacta Sciences. That's ticker EXAS. That's Edward X-Ray Apple Sam. This is an earnings play. The stock opened up at $156.44 and then it ran to $158, easily beating the targets. Then the put volume started to skyrocket and the stock couldn't hold it. And when they released earnings, they weren't great. Revenue came in higher than expected, but the EPS wasn't there. And, that's always a kind of a warning sign when you see elevated put volume and statements about revenue, not EPS, coming from the CEO ahead of the releases. So I was cautious there, was never planning on holding it into earnings, but it worked out for me. There was a nice opportunity for a good gain.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.